Okay, it looks like a couple people are still joining in. So let's, so while you're waiting, if you have an extra piece of paper, if you just have an extra piece of paper, I figured just as a warm up, without any preparation, draw a picture of your face. And this is without any instruction because after we go back, we'll compare the drawing we do second to what you do now. So just take about 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and draw a picture of you. Mostly just like of your face. Like, so when I say, I don't mean like your whole body, mostly just your face, maybe your neck. Just start with like a little sketch, and we're gonna compare it.
It's okay.
So for those of you who just joined, Isaac, and I see family, familia matching. You just need a pencil today and a couple pieces of paper.
No. This.
We're just starting with a picture of you. Just a quick sketch. Yeah. Does anybody have any experience in drawing a self-portrait before? Awesome, I see some hands. Cool. So some of you might already know some of the proportions, but I'm gonna show you guys how almost every face follows a certain set of rules. And when you're drawing them, you can help use those rules to help make a drawing easier. Now every face is a little different, so you kind of have to, the rules don't always apply, and I'll show you with my example, or my face as an example, but for the most part, everybody's eyes are about in the same spot in their heads. Everybody's nose is about in the same spot in their heads. So I'm going to show you that in a bit. But right now we're just starting with a quick warm-up sketch of a face. Welcome, sunshine and lollipops. I like your little crown crown girl. So if you just joined, we're just drawing a quick sketch. It's just as a warm up of your face. So or self-portrait. And we're going to compare what we do after this to the drawing that you're doing now. So this whole week, I call it Portrait Week, because every day this week, we're doing a different style of portrait. Today is the only day that we're really doing like a more realistic style portrait, and we're looking at proportions. And then Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're doing portraits in different styles of like different types of artists. So tomorrow is going to be a portrait in a style of an artist named Modigliani. On Thursday, it's going to be like a pop art style and an artist named Brito, and his art is really fun. I'll show you some of his. And then and both of those are going to be, the materials are on the website at Chuck Jones Center. So if you go to the website, each day's materials are a little bit different. So you'll have to look. So I know tomorrow I'm asking if you have 3, like you need markers, markers that are not Sharpies. So like Crayola markers work really well, and you need 3 different colors because we're kind of going to paint with markers, which is a new thing because I know some people have paint, some don't. Oh, hi Jade, welcome. So I keep seeing more people joining in. So for those of you who just joined in, you are doing a quick warm-up sketch of you. So a quick sketch of your face. And I'm probably going to give you maybe 2 or 3 more minutes. It does not have to be a finished sketch in any way. It's just a quick sketch. And then we're going to do a drawing together. And we're going to go bit by bit. And I'm going to show you how some of the proportions of the face can help you draw it. Wow, that looks great, Daytona. I love it. Awesome. If you are done with your sketch, then that's great. But for those of you who are still working, I'm going to give you another couple minutes. Oh, and so I was saying that every day this week is a different type of portrait. So tomorrow is Modigliani. which is a very interesting kind of elongated style of portrait. Thursday is going to be a pop art style, and we're going to look at the artist named Brito. And then Friday is going to be like a cubist, Picasso style collage. It's going to be a portrait, but it's not going to be drawn. It's going to be collage. So if you came last week, then you know I like paper arts, because that was the whole theme last week, was paper arts. So that's what we're going to do on Friday. So we have portraits of all styles, a portrait for everyone. So if drawing a portrait isn't your thing, come back later this week, and maybe making a collage portrait is, or maybe painting a portrait is. All right, maybe about 1 more minute, and then we're going to get started. Awesome. If you're done, go ahead and hold yours up. I'd love to see them. Well, let's see. I see Pen and Ink. Pen and Ink, what are your names? Can you unmute yourself for a second?
Nikita and Penelope.
Penelope and Nikita. Hi girls. Hi, awesome. Can I see yours? Nikita, I saw you holding one up. Oh, nice. I love it. Really looking good. Looking good. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Does anybody else want to share their finished sketch? You don't have to share by any means. It's totally up to you. Shaven, let's see yours. Whoa. Spotlight this. Nice. Wait, hold on. Sorry. I think we Scott, I think we might have spotlighted each other. Shaven, show us yours one more time. Sorry, I missed it. Oh, nice. Awesome. That looks great. Really good. Really, really good. Awesome. All right. Anybody else like to share real quick? Okay. All right. Okay. So then I'm gonna put your one sketch to the side, and get a new piece of paper. And I'm gonna actually go down so that you can see what I'm doing. So when you're drawing a face, so here's my paper. I'm gonna actually turn my paper vertical, not horizontal, just so that I have some more to work. But starting a face, whenever I start a face, and this is just something that I do, you don't have to do this, but I always find it easiest to start with the U shape, or the chin part of my face. And as always, when I'm starting a sketch and when I'm starting a drawing, I'm always drawing kind of lightly, because my lines are usually not perfect the first time I do them. I have to work at them. So I'm doing lots of little sketchy lines. And Scott, you'll have to tell me if you can see what I'm doing, if it's dark enough.
I can see it. It's a little faint, but I can see it.
Okay. All right. So I usually start, I can try to go a little darker. I usually start with a pretty sketchy kind of U shape, and I'm going to clean it up and make sure that it really fits the shape of my face in a minute. But I start with that, and then I connect the head, and I just kind of do a sketchy part here. And that's because a lot of times when you first start to draw a face, people will start with a circle, or they'll just start with an oval. And a head isn't actually really oval. Of course, all of our head shapes are a little bit different. Some people's faces are more round. Some people's faces are more thin and tall. But for the most part, none of us have a round head. So I usually start with a kind of a U shape for the bottom, and then I go ahead and connect the top. And I'm not too worried about it looking like my head shape quite yet, because I'm going to go back in and clean it up later to really take a look at the mirror and check to make sure it looks right later. So the second thing I'm going to do is, using some really light pencil-y sketchy lines, I'm going to draw a line down the middle of my face vertically, and another line horizontally. These lines are going to be erased. And the reason we do this is because you may or may not know this, but your eyes are actually in the middle of your head. When we draw faces, a lot of times I'll see, especially with little kids. So I taught kindergarten for a while. I was an art teacher for 10 years, and I also taught kindergarten for 3. And always little kids would draw their head, and their eyes would be right near the top. But you're forgetting your forehead, and you're forgetting the whole top part of your head. Our eyes are actually closer or near the middle of our head. So I'm going to go ahead and on that line, using that line as kind of the middle line, I'm going to start lightly sketching in some of my my eye shapes. And my eyes, everybody's eyes are a different shape. Mine are like a little bit almondish. So I have like a curved line for the top and a curved line for the bottom. So you can start sketching in your eyes. Try them when you drew them, try to make sure they're kind of light. Because another trick is that your head is actually about 5 eyes across. So if this is one eye, and that's another eye, I should have about, yeah, like kind of like this. So if I had 5 eyes, an eye here, an eye here, it's gonna look really weird. I'm gonna look like an alien for a minute. An eye here. Your face is actually about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eyes across. So I'm gonna go ahead and erase these extra eyes because I don't have 5 eyes. That'd be weird. So everybody you could be working on drawing your eyes in. Another thing to think about when you're drawing your eyes and your eye shape is take a look in the mirror, because inside of your eye, so I always like to really think about like where my tear ducts are. If I look at my eyes, that in that corner of my eye, I see my tear duct, and I actually see that your eye is a globe. Your eye is this big sphere inside of your head. So it's actually kind of like this, and here's the white part of my eye inside of my eyelids, and then there's like this kind of curved part over here that's my tear duct. And I'm not going to get too into the details right now. I'm just going to stop right there. I'm not going to add in the pupils or anything quite yet. Okay? Actually, I take that back. Maybe I will add in the pupils, only because the pupils are going to help us in the next step. So I'm looking at my eye in the mirror. I'm drawing in. My eye has so many different parts. So I'm drawing in the circle part of my it's called your iris, is the part that has the color. So there's the white part of your eye, then there's the iris, which is like the brown part if your eyes are brown, or the blue part if your eyes are blue, or in my case, they're like kind of a greenish grayish color. And then in the middle is my pupil. And right now I'm in a pretty bright space. So my pupil is small. It's not very dilated. So I'm just gonna draw it in. I'm just kind of shading lightly around the iris. And if I even look really closely at my iris, I notice that the outside of my iris is a little bit darker. And you have to look at your eyes to see what your eyes look like. But mine, like it goes from dark in the middle in the pupil to light to a little bit darker around the edge. And the reason I wanted to draw in that pupil is because that pupil is actually going to help us when we do the nose. So here was that line that was going across the middle of my face. Now, I'm going to actually draw another line across my portrait. So I'm going to divide the middle to the bottom. I'm going to draw a line separating that space in half. So I'm dividing my face now in half again. So I had that line going across where my eyes were in the middle of my face. And now I have another line dividing where my eyes are from my chin. And that line down here is actually going to be about where your nose stops. And this is about true for everybody. I mean, like I said, everybody's face is a little bit different. Some of us have longer noses, some of us have shorter noses, but approximately everybody's nose stops about halfway between their eyes, where their eyes are, and their chin. If I take my pencil and draw a straight line down from where my pupil is, sorry, excuse me, not from my pupil, I misspoke, from where my tear duct is. So my tear duct, remember I drew in those 2 tear ducts? So that corner of the eye, those two corners of the eye, if I draw two straight lines down, that's approximately where the edges of your nose, I can draw them darker if you guys need. That's approximately where the edges of my nostrils are going to be.
Oh, Lee,
Yes.
let's see. Jade might need some help.
Okay, I can slow down. I can slow down. Jade, tell me where are you? Where did I, because I've been going kind of fast. So I need you guys to help me, tell me if I'm going too fast. Ooh, that's looking good. That's looking really good. So tell me where are you? So you're still on the eyes. Oop, I can't hear you.
There's-
Jade, do you have the mute on?
I think she's unmuted.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, now I can hear you. Sorry, it's just really quiet. So Jade, take your time. It's totally okay. If you want to go back in and work on finishing up the eyes, that's totally fine. Okay, I can slow down a little bit. Okay. So and you know what? Even if you're not exactly there, if you don't have all the details in, because I know I'm going kind of fast, you can kind of pencil stuff in, and then we can go back in and add in details later. So there's so many details that we haven't even touched yet because there are so many parts to our face. So I'm actually gonna go real slow, but for the nose, and it's okay, Jade, if you're a little bit behind, don't worry about it. Don't worry. So for the nose, all I'm doing is I drew two lines down from the corner of my eye, where my eyes are, and I drew that, there's that spot, that line that goes across, and that's kind of where the two corners of my nostrils are. And how I do a nose, here, I'll show you on regular paper. I usually, and you can do it the way I do it, or you can totally do it differently, but I'll show you how I do it. I usually start with like the letter C, which is one corner of my nostril. And then there's the opposite on the other side, the other backwards letter C. And then I'm taking a look at the way my nostrils go. And I see that like there's one little nostril that comes up here. There's another little nostril hole right here. And then they kind of connect down like that. That's how I've always done my noses. That's kind of how I figured it out. And then the top part of your nose, like the nose part, I don't know what that's called, but the top part of your nose is actually done with shading. So I don't do too much drawing of this part of the nose. I mostly, when I'm drawing them on my portrait, I will just start with like the nostrils, and I'll do the middle part, and I'll do this over here. And I should have said this at the beginning, but don't worry if your face does not look right, if this is like tricky for you. This is hard. Drawing it's like anything else. It takes a lot of practice, and what is it that Chuck Jones he would always say, like, you have to draw, you have 1,000 drawings, bad drawings in you. You got to get out before you have a good one. And it's really, really all about practice. So be kind to yourself. If you don't like it, don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to be doing lots of different kinds of portraits. You can always try again another day. Like, if it doesn't look like you, that's totally fine. My portrait probably will look nothing like me, and that's okay. It can, after you're done drawing it, you can say it's somebody else. It doesn't have to be you. It could just be an imaginary. In fact, if you hate drawing yourself, you could just be drawing an imaginary person. It doesn't really have to be you. But I'm just kind of lightly penciling in where like some of the shadows would go for the nose. But the most important part to know is like that almost everybody's nose ends about halfway down between where your eyes are and where your chin is. Okay, how is everybody doing? Like, does anybody need me to explain anything again, or are we doing all right?
I see a thumbs up.
Okay.
A couple thumbs up.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Well, for the mouth, so I'm going to go on, and it's okay if you're behind. It's okay. I can go back and I can do another drawing a second time. But I just want to show you where the proportions are. So if you draw another line going across your portrait in between where the bottom of your nose is and where your chin is, that's about where the middle of your mouth is. And I know before I showed you to draw 2 straight lines coming down from your pupils. If you draw 2 straight lines coming straight down, that's about where most mouths go. They usually go from that corner to that corner. But like I said, everybody's face is different. And I happen to know that my mouth, because I'm trying to draw me, who knows if it's really gonna look like me. I know that my mouth is actually a little smaller than that. So I'm actually gonna draw a line next to that because I happen to know that I just have a smaller mouth. So these are all personal. So you have to really look at in your mirror and your face if you're drawing you. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start drawing in some of my mouth. And I also happen to know that my top lip is a little smaller than my bottom lip. So I usually start with kind of my lip kind of curves up, does a little bow right there. But my top lip is not as thick as my bottom lip. So I just happen to know that because I've drawn myself before. But your lips are yours, so you got to take a look at them in the mirror. And my bottom lip just kind of comes down like this. And the reason we draw lightly is if you don't like it, you go back and fix it. Go back, erase lightly. You can always change those lines up. And take a look at that line that's in between your mouth, like in between your lips. It's not usually straight. So on mine, if I'm not talking, it kind of echoes what the top line does. It actually curves up and comes down a little bit.
There's a question, can I be smiling?
Sure, absolutely. These are your portraits. Absolutely. You can do it however you want. However you guys would like. Okay. For me, everybody has a different feature that's their hardest feature to draw. For some people, that's noses. For some people, that's ears. For me, I hate drawing lips. I don't know. I've never liked drawing them. So like I always this is my least favorite part of my drawings always. So don't be afraid to have a part that's hard, because I've drawn my face many a times and I still find lips difficult. I still am unhappy with how they come out. But that's kind of the proportion of what mine look like. And my lips are not totally symmetrical. And I think they kind of match that in this picture. That's all right. Okay. So, oh, Megan, you say usually you can draw them when they're not on a face. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I've always loved drawing eyes. Eyes I think are really fun to draw, but lips are just, I've always disliked drawing lips. All right. So hopefully I'm not going too fast for you guys. But I'm going to show you about where the ears go now. I'm actually going to fix this line just a little bit before I start drawing in my ear, because I think that my head shape was a little too wide. So I'm just going to narrow it just a little bit. Okay, that's a little bit better. So your ears, for most people, and like I said, again, I repeat myself over and over again, is that everybody's ears are a little different. So, but this is approximate. But for most people, the tops of our ears kind of align with the tops of our eyes. So kind of about right there. So if I drew a straight line over from where the top of my eye was, that's about where the tops of your ears are. So my ears, I have like elf ears. They kind of stick out higher at the top and then they kind of curve down. And our ears, I should have said this before, mostly they end about where the bottom of our nose is. For mine, yeah, actually it does. It ends almost exactly right where the bottom of my nose is. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in my ears. And I'm not adding in any details to them yet. I'm not like worried about drawing in like the bits of my ears yet. I'm just kind of sketching in about where they go. Just about there and about there. Yeah, that's about right. So now is when I can start looking at these face lines, because I find it easier now that I've gotten some of these features done to go back and really look to see, well, does my chin look right? This line looks a little like sloppy to me. So I'm going to go back in, I'm going to erase and fix up this chin shape because I think my chin looks a little bit different than that. So if you have any lines you want to kind of fix up or like clean up, go ahead, do it. About right. Yeah. I can go back in. I have like in my face, I have like a little shadow here at the bottom of my chin. This will look anything like me. We'll see. Drawing a picture, especially of yourself, is hard. It's challenging. It's a challenging thing to do. How's everybody doing? Are we feeling okay?
Well, is it okay if I don't draw my ears? Because sometimes my hair covers up my ears like that.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I'm going to show you how I had my hair because I'm probably going to draw it. Here, see, so my hair is actually covering up. I have it in front of one side and I only have one, so only one of my ears is showing in my picture. I drew it in only because you're going to see I'm actually going to cover it up. So it'll be there, but it's going to be totally covered by my hair. But yours, you can choose you could choose
where my ear's going to be.
Or you can choose to just not draw them in. It's totally up to you. Okay, let me go back to this. How's everybody else doing?
There's a couple questions in the chat. When are we going to do the hair, and can I do eyelashes?
Awesome. Okay, great questions, because that was my next step. My next step. Ooh, that's looking good. That's looking so good. So the next step, how I usually do faces, the next step is I'm going to start I'm going to go back to my eyes, and I'm going to start adding in some of those details that make my eyes. So I know my eyes have, like, I have like an extra like lid line right there that's pretty prominent. You may or may not have that. It's totally it's up to your face. Everybody's face is unique and beautiful. But mine kind of has it. So I'm going to pencil that in. I'm also going to, if I want to start adding in some of the eyelashes. I have some eyelashes in here. And it's totally up to you. Even if you're, I don't know how many dudes we have here drawing, how many guys we have, but even if you're a guy, you still have eyelashes. They're just not as, usually not as long or as dark. Although, not necessarily true. Some little boys have like beautiful long eyelashes. So it's totally up to you if you want to include them in your picture or not. I'm going to add some eyelashes in the bottom. I have some little eyelashes down there. I can go back in, can darken up some of my lines, kind of clean up some of my lines. Now the hair is one of the parts I love to do. So for your hair, my hair, I have bangs. So I'm actually going to start, before I do that, I'm going to pencil in my eyebrows, because even just like my ear, here, I'll show you my face. Even though my hair is going to be covering up most of my eyebrows and most of my forehead, and all of my, you can't even see my ear, even though it's covering I'm not going to see it in the final picture. I always just kind of like to put it in there just because, I mean, you will be able to see some of my eyebrow. So I'm just going to go ahead and put both of them in, even though they're going to be covered up in the end with my hair. So, but that's just how my face looks. So it's totally up to you. If you're I don't see very many people with bangs, so most people's eyebrows will be seen. So you probably want to add those in. Otherwise, it might look a little weird. And I like to do kind of short, like little lines, short little lines that kind of imitate what hair does. So like, because that's what my eyebrows look like. But it's totally. It was there. We were having technical difficulties. The whole class got kicked off. So we're all just coming back now.
Okay.
So don't worry. This is our reality in our new digital world. I know, Megan. I think I tried like 20 times to join too. I was like, let me in, let me back in. Okay. All right. I think we have about everybody back in now. I'm going to switch back to my other camera. Oh, Jade, that's looking awesome. That's looking so good. Cool. All right. Okay.
Sorry, Jade, do you want to hold it up again?
So yeah, hold it up so everybody can. Wow, that looks awesome. That looks really good. You nailed the proportions on that nose, those eyes. Really good. Really, really good.
I'm going to jump to a couple. There's a couple people holding theirs up.
Okay, yeah, do it. Do it. Let's see. Oh, these are some really good works in progress. Really, really good. Looking really good, guys. These proportions. Who else? Samantha. Nice job. Really nice job. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. This is looking great.
Here's Megan's.
Okay, Megan. Oh yeah, Megan, that's looking rad. Looking really good. I can tell that you like drawing lips.
Yeah. Yeah.
You like my least favorite part. It's funny how everybody has like different things they're good at. All right.
Emily and Sophia have their hand up.
Emily, Sophia, yeah.
We didn't erase the lines.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet. We're definitely going to go back through and erase the lines in a minute. Okay. Oh, look at these. Nice. These are looking great. These are looking great.
And I thought I saw Fiona wanted to share.
Oh yeah, Fiona, let's see. Ooh, that's looking beautiful. Very nice. Your lines are really clean. Very beautiful. Looking really good. All right, cool. Great work. We are going to, so thank you for reminding me that if you want to now, if you want to go back through and erase some of those pencil lines up and down, I think I was still working on my eyebrows when we got cut off, so I'm going to do my other eyebrow. Otherwise, I'll have a unibrow, which I don't have. I have two brows, so I'm going to add them both in. And I think I was saying that I like these kind of short little lines when I kind of like sketchy-ish pencil-y lines to show that they're like short little hairs. Okay, but after I'm done with that, I want to go through and I can go back and I can start to erase some of those all those guidelines that we added in to help us know where to put things. We can go back and start to erase some of those. And next we're going to do the hair. Actually, that's not true. We're going to do the neck first, and then I always save the hair for last because the hair, for the most part, unless you have your hair like up, it's the thing that's in front. So it's the last thing I usually draw in. So going through erasing some of those lines, guidelines. Right. Mostly erased. Cool. All right. So for the neck, what I do is I need to look in the mirror to make sure I have it kind of in the right place. But your neck pretty much comes down from where your cheek is, so like, or where your jaw is, and it's like two lines, and they're not like just two straight lines. Necks generally curve just a little bit. So I'm going to do like a kind of a curved line here, and then looking in the mirror, I have another kind of curved line here. Do them light so that if the first time you do them, if it's too thick, like you can erase, or if it's too thin, you don't want to look like a bobblehead. You also don't want to look like a football player unless you are a football player with a really thick neck. So you want to make sure that you kind of get the proportion right about how wide your neck is. So once I think I've nailed about where the neck is, I generally try to like just, and this part of the picture, I'm not really focusing too much on this part of the picture. I just kind of pencil really lightly in with the kind of where my shoulders are. Kind of actually going to go farther out like that. Erase that line. And then I kind of look really, really simply at like what the top part of my shirt looks like, and my shirt kind of goes like this. And then I happen to have a necklace on, so I might just add that little necklace in. It's a tiny little detail. Sometimes I like adding in these little details. And I'm not getting too crazy with it. I'm just really sketchily like penciling in where things go. Now, I clearly look bald here, so I'm not bald. I definitely need to do the hair. It's time for the hair. So for my hair, like I said, I have bangs, so I'm just going to start with the bangs. But when you're doing your hair, if you don't have bangs, take a close look at your hairline. So, and how much space there is between your eyebrows and the top of your hair. So if I didn't have bangs, my hairline would be like kind of up here. And some people have what's called a widow's peak, where it comes down in a point here. Some people, mine does not. Mine goes straight across. But take a look at what your hairline kind of looks like. Then I just start to pencil in my hair. And my hair is all over the place. I need a haircut. I had to trim my own bangs the other day. Something my hairdresser has always told me not to do. So, yeah, so I'm just kind of like starting to pencil in where these hairlines go. And I know it looks crazy right now. Don't worry, like you're not done. My hair really kind of curves like that. And there's more hair on the top of your head than you think. There's like, that's why, like, remember how that our eyes were really halfway down between our face? Like, it's funny because even as babies, we are trained to look at faces. Like that's our mode of survival, is like the first thing that we love to look at is like our mother's face or our father's faces. And the part of our face that we're so attuned to really looking at is our eyes and our nose and our mouth, the features of our face that are really expressive. And so when we draw our face, sometimes when we're first learning to draw, a lot of times we'll over exaggerate those features, because that's like what we look at when as humans. We're always looking at what people's eyes and nose and mouth are doing. We're not looking so much at what people's hair is doing, because the hair isn't as expressive as the other features of our face. So I think that when we're learning to draw our face, sometimes people forget or just don't notice that our hair is really like the top third of our head. So I don't know, that's just my opinion, but I bet there's some scientific facts to back up like how much like we look at faces and how much time, especially with babies, like they look at like eyes and nose and mouths. That's how we read people. How we can tell what people are thinking and feeling. Draw my hair is going all the way off the page down here. And I'm just really trying to pencil it in. I need to like go back up here and start to pencil in some of the hair. The hair kind of goes back like this. I have like the hairline, so depending on where you part your hair, mine's kind of just all in the middle right here. It's not really parted. Some of the hair is going back like that. Some of the hair is coming forward. I just have like, you can see my scalp just a little bit right in there in the middle. It's a little too big. Sometimes I like to like highlight a couple pieces of hair. Like I have this one piece coming down into my chin, into my face right here. And I have like, make a couple of pieces darker because sometimes we have highlights in our hair. Sometimes there are bits of our hair that are darker and bits of our hair that are lighter. So once I kind of feel like I'm happy with how the hair looks and how the head looks, that's when I start to really go back in and start to fill in some of the things that I missed before, some of those tiny details that I can really only do with shading. So I look really closely, like my face, I have a lot of freckles, so I might want to start like adding in some of those little freckles because that's just what I have. Your skin is, everybody's skin is different, so I also like to go in and like I can start to darken up some of those shadows on the nose. So I'm looking at and it depends on where you're sitting and where you are, but like one side of my face is a little bit in the shadow. Got a couple, it's a little bit darker, like right up here near the corners of my eyes, so I can start to add in some of these like little shadows. You want to be really gentle with those though, because if you go too heavy on some of these shadows, then you'll look really old. So, I mean, if you were trying to draw yourself as like an octogenarian, an 80-year-old, then go for it. If you're doing like a drawing, but you just have to be kind of gentle hand, because it's a lot easier to add darker than it is to take away. So I always just do it really gentle, just trying to get some of the main spots. I know I have a couple of shadows here.
Lee, we have a hand raised,
Yeah.
Emily and Sophia.
Yeah, Emily, Sophia, let's see. What's up?
This is my face, but I think it's sort of weird because I only have 3 freckles on my nose and a bunch of freckles on one cheek, but like none on the other.
Well, it's unique to your face. Then. That's looking really good. Really, really good.
Yeah.
That's looking awesome. Nice. That's also looking awesome.
2 more freckles, and I have one by my lip.
Yeah, you got to add in those details that make you you. And I noticed you girls also started to add in like the lines in your ears. So I didn't even talk about that yet. So I'm going to go, and actually that's what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to mine and like clean up my ear over here because I didn't.
Sorry, Judy had her hand raised.
No worries, Judy.
That's exactly what I needed.
Was the ear?
The ear, yeah, because it shows.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. So yeah, so mine is showing on one side. So it's really, ears can be kind of, oh, that's looking awesome, by the way. That was looking really good.
Looks good, Em.
So you just kind of have to really look in the mirror. I usually start with that curve that's on the outside of the ridge of your ear.
That's my portrait. I don't need.
So I'm just kind of penciling in that curved line right there. And it really just depends on what your ear looks like. So, and then it's a good thing I drew lightly because right here is, I can actually see how there's that like curve, like the lip of like I don't know the names of the parts of the ear, but there's that like, I don't know, that like little lip that goes inside of your ear. And then what you need to start looking at is the areas of dark and the areas of light. So I know that like down here, it's a little darker. And then that's where you can start doing some of the shading because an ear is really all about shading.
Liliana and Heather Rose have their hand raised.
Yeah, Liliana, Heather Rose, what's up? Wow, that braid. Man, you nailed that braid. Braids are not easy. That looks great. That looks so good. Really nice job. Wow, and the glasses. Oh, the glasses. Why do you look like a monster? I think that's a beautiful picture. I think it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, I can tell you guys worked really hard. Really nice. So I was just going back to my ear. So I'm just really trying to look at the areas of shadow and the areas of light. So I know that like this part is like a little more shaded, but this part isn't. And when I blend I generally use my finger and I go back and I like lighten up certain areas. But yeah, you gotta just take a look in the mirror, start with that ridge, and then start like penciling in where some of the other little ridges go inside of your ear, because everybody's ear looks a little bit different. And I actually think I went a little too dark on my shadowing, or shading, so I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit, which is harder to do than it is to make it darker. So you gotta be careful. It's a little bit better. Okay. I'm gonna start adding in, because I have.
There's a question, can we color?
Oh yeah, so absolutely. I didn't mention it beforehand because I didn't know how much time we'd have, but I mean, I have color pencils that I was going to use if we had time. You can use whatever materials you have. I would say though that markers are hard, so I would be careful if you were using markers. But color pencils are great to add color. So are like watercolors. One of the things I always like to do, especially because skin tones are really challenging, is I always kind of like pull out some colors that I think might be kind of like my skin tone, and then I might try to like blend some of them together to find a color that might match me. My skin is, I'm fairly light, so I always have to like look for the right tones. So maybe I kind of like those three. And then what I usually do is, oh, sorry, I moved my camera, guys. Sorry about that. Is I usually just test them like on a scratch paper. I'll like hold my skin up next to it and I'll be like, that's actually not too bad. But I wonder if I added some of this. Oh, that actually would work if for like a shaded part of my skin. This might be too dark. Yeah, that one's not really right for my skin. But so mostly this color for me, I think. So yeah, I could go back and start adding color in, and I have to find the right kind of pinkishy color for my lips. I'm very ripped. Unless you have bright red lipstick on, most people's lips are a shade of pinkish, or there's even sometimes like pinkish brownish color. So, ooh, these are all, I don't like any of these colors. Maybe this one, maybe. This might be too bright though. Oh, actually, that one would kind of work for my skin, or for my lips. It's a little bright, but might work. But yeah, so I don't think I'm gonna have time to color mine in today for sure, but that's definitely an extra step if you wanted to go back in and add in some color. If you even wanted to go back in and like start adding in some of the details, like in my lips, I have like some little like skin lines like that. I can start shading. I can instead of coloring them in with colors, I can just shade them. So my top lip is shadowier than my bottom lip is, so it should be a little bit darker. We have a few more minutes. We can stay a couple extra minutes because I know we got cut off. But actually, Scott, is there a class are they going to start a class right at 11?
I think it's 12.
Oh, is it 12? Okay, so yeah, then we have time. Then we have time.
Oh, here's Jade's.
Oh, let's see. Wow, Jade, that looks great. Oh my gosh. Can you do me a favor, Jade? Can you hold up your first sketch? Did you do a first sketch? Oh, you didn't? Okay, never mind. All right. I was gonna see the side by side of like a finished one, and then your sketch, and then your more finished piece. But that looks awesome. That looks so good. Your eye, the eyes, the eyebrows. You need to add in your glasses though. Unless you're not drawing you, unless it's somebody else. Ooh, that looks great. Who is this?
This is Esme.
Esme, wow, you nailed that curly hair. That looks great. Esme, did you do a sketch at the beginning of class? Did you do a warm up? No? Okay, all right. I love that. That looks amazing. Really, really good work. Really nice job. Is there anybody else who wants to share?
Megan has her hand up.
Okay, Megan, and then I see Samantha's hand too. Wow, Megan, it looks like you. You nailed like there's something about like the nose and like you captured the essence of you. Like that really
kind of look older though. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean sometimes I sometimes when I draw mine I'm like I look too young. I need to go back and like add some more lines in. But yeah, that happens. But it really does capture you. I can see you in that picture.
Thank you.
Nice job. All right, Samantha, let's see.
So this is the one that I did a video. I'm starting to color it, but it's not done yet.
Okay, that looks great. I love that.
And then here's the first sketch.
Oh my gosh. So your first, so the difference between your first and your second is like, I can see that it was, it was more like almost anime style on the first one, and the second one looks like more realistic. So, which is kind of what we were going for today. That looks great. Really, really, really good work. Really good work. Nice. All right.
Up next is Lily.
Lily, let's see.
I am.
Okay. I can hear you. Wow, Lily, that looks great. That looks great.
Thanks.
Nice work. Did you do a sketch at the beginning of class?
Yeah.
You don't have to show it if you don't want. Your end work looks really good. I can tell you were really paying attention. And I especially like the neck and the shirt and how you did that curved line on the bottom. That looks great.
Thanks.
Nice job.
Okay, Liliana. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Fiona, and then Liliana and Heather Rose.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Ooh, that's beautiful.
This was great.
That looks really nice. Yeah, you have to bring it up close because your pencil lines are really like light. But that looks really beautiful. Let's see here.
Doesn't that make you feel good?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. See, oh my gosh, I can totally tell. See, your first one, the eyes were too far apart, and your second one, you nailed the proportions. That looks great.
So here's Heather's is finished one.
Oh, wow. Oh, I like you even added the detail of the necklace.
First sketches.
Yeah, so you guys went from like a more anime style too, to like a more cartoon style to a more realistic. Really good. Really nice job. Good work, girls.
Okay.
Oh wait, did we see? Oh, you got to go back. Heather Rose didn't share, or
sorry.
Liliana didn't share hers yet. Sorry. There you go. Okay. Oh, nice. Was that your second drawing? That was your first.
My first one.
Oh, okay. Wow, you almost did like a 3/4, like a 3/4 profile. Like, so what we did was like a sketch direct today. Ooh, I love that. I totally love that. You have practiced drawing faces. I can tell you've done this before. Do you like drawing faces? Yeah, I can tell. I can tell you have some practice, kinda. But yeah, today we did like a face direct on. But like there's 3/4 profiles. There's also like full on profiles, which are two different, totally different profile or portrait styles. But all right, is there anybody else who would like to share? Yeah, girls, let's see. It's Nikita, right? Nikita and Penelope. Okay, Nikita, that looks great. Can you bring it a little closer to the camera? Oh, there we go. Nice. Now I can see it. Oh, I like the color. I like that you added in the color too. Oh, that nose, the shading. You got it. Really nice job. Was that your first one? See, I love it. I can really tell that you were paying attention to proportions. Really good work. Nice job, Nikita.
Thank you.
Penelope, do you want to share?
In a bit, maybe.
In a minute? Okay, you're not ready? No worries. All right. Is there anybody else who is finished who would like to share their work? If not, no worries. Okay. All right. So I'll give a few of you who I think are still working just a few more minutes. So tomorrow, let me go to tomorrow's class. Tomorrow, I told you we're doing a different style of portrait, and it's going to be a portrait in the style of Modigliani, who I'm going to show you some work by him. But the things that you're going to need, because I think tomorrow has the most amount of art supplies that you'll need. But you'll need a pencil. You'll need so you need like a piece of, if you have watercolor paper, that's great. But if you don't, it just has to be like stiff paper. So like cardstock, or you can try it with regular printer paper. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Crayola markers, and you need them in at least 4 colors. So when I say Crayola markers, what I mean is like they're called water soluble, which means that when we add some water to them, they're going to bleed a little bit. So the ink in the color will kind of bleed a little bit. And so you can't use a permanent marker. So because permanent markers, like a Sharpie, it won't work when you add the water. So it has to be any kind of marker that will bleed. And you can test those beforehand, but I know Crayola works. Then you're also going to need a cup of water, a paintbrush, and just a paper towel or a napkin or something to blot your paintbrush on. So those are the things you're going to need. So tomorrow is the most amount of things. Was there anybody else who would like to share before we head? Oh, Jade, that looks great. You added the glasses. Nice. I love it. It looks like you. It really does
Very
look like
cool.
you. Very nice job. I also like how you got you were looking at the shadows and highlights in your hair. You got darker in your where the roots are. It looks great. That looks really realistic. Nice work. All right, last call for anybody who'd like to share. Oh, I see that Penelope's ready to share. Let's see, Penelope. Oh, that looks great. That looks really, really good. Oh, your nose. You got that nose down. And the eyebrows. Very nice. Hey, Penelope, did you do a sketch, like a first sketch?
I didn't really get to finish it that much.
That's okay. I didn't give you much time. Wow, I can really see the difference. I can really see the difference in your between your first and your second. Oh, you froze.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, but you did. If you can hear me, you did an awesome job. I'm so proud of everybody. Everybody's work is amazing. Samantha, wow. Oh my God, Samantha, that really does look like you.
Thank you.
You captured yourself. Like you captured the way your hair is like falling around your face. And even like that, your chin, you got the right angle for your chin. Really beautiful work.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'm really proud of everybody. You guys did a really, really nice job. I hope I see you guys back tomorrow. All right, great work, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, bye guys and girls.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
Bye.